Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be talking about the latest movie in the Hell House franchise, Hell House Lineage. So this is a franchise that I really have grown to love over the years. I found the first one on a complete gamble. I remember it was me. I was over at a friend's house and with another buddy and his wife, and we were just going through movies to watch. And I can't remember at the time if I heard people talking about this movie. I think I did, and people were like, "Oh, it's really good." And as I said in previous movie reviews, like Dream Eater and holy crap, what is the other found footage movie I talked about? Not really found footage. Shelby Oaks. I mentioned it kind of in Shelby Oaks, where and VHS Halloween, how I'm a big, massive fan of found footage movies. I try like hell to always find new ones that I really enjoy because I'm just a sucker for found footage movies. That to me, they're very effective. If they're done correctly, I find them so creepy. So anyway, the four of us sat on the couch one night and watched the first one, and we were all very pleasantly surprised. There was points where we got really creeped out by the first one, and the first one was just really effective. And then two and three, I was lukewarm on. I was like, they're okay. They're not as good as the first one. They obviously add more to the lore of the first movie. And then when the fourth one came out, I thought the fourth one was a great return to form. It really felt like the first one. I thought the fourth one was super fucking creepy. Same as the first one in that same vein. And I really enjoyed the fourth one. So I was like, all right, cool. They're back on track. And then when I saw that they were doing one more and this was supposed to be the final chapter in this franchise, and this was supposed to wrap up and bring the story together, I was like, awesome. I can't wait for that. I totally planned on going to see this movie in August when it came out in theaters, but sadly, the only theater that was playing it near me was like an hour and a half away, and I was also gone to Mad Monster at the time, so I couldn't go to. I was going to maybe try to squeeze it in because it was pretty close to where the convention was at, but I just did not have the time. So I tried like hell. I knew it was coming to Shudder, so I tried like hell to look it up to see when, it was going to come out. If it was going to come to VOD earlier, because a lot of times before they put stuff out on Shudder, stuff will come to VOD. Wasn't the case, so I had to wait until Halloween. So I finally watched it a day or so after Halloween, and man, I was severely disappointed by this movie. But there is a few things I really did enjoy and like about the movie overall. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's shot really well for them getting rid of a found footage element. I think for it being a normal, standards type movie, I think they did a really good job with shooting it. I think there's some genuinely creepy moments that happen in the movie, especially with the clown that's become so iconic. I think the way that they do certain things with lighting in this movie is really, really great. Like there's a scene in the very beginning where you see the clown kind of sitting in this what do you call it, like one of those when you go to the fair or a festival, they've got like all the games and stuff you can play that are in like those booths, and our character finds the clown kind of sitting in the booth, and slowly the lights start to get cut off and he's kind of trapped in this little booth thing, and he has a lighter, so he's going looking around, and you can kind of see the clown slowly emerge from the darkness. Really great shot. I love stuff like that. And there's another great scene with the clown where he's in like a particular hallway where he kind of pops up. And stuff like that is really well done. I really enjoy what they did with that. With all that being said, that is about really the only things I really enjoyed about it, sadly. And like I said, it was just so disappointing. This movie takes its time getting to certain moments. It really takes its time. And this might not be the movie's fault, but it's probably because I work third shift. It took me 3 tries to get through this movie because I kept falling asleep. Because working third, I'm tired all the time anyway. So I just would keep falling asleep. I'd wake up, try to rewatch it, fall back asleep. So it took me about 3 tries in 3 different days to fully make it through the movie. And I just think that it like I said, it just takes its time with certain things, and it also lingers on shots for a certain amount of time that I don't understand. Like there's scenes where it'll go to a character, it'll go to a random scene. It'll be like I said, a character or a shot of like a field, and it just lingers on it for a good 30 seconds, and you're like, am I supposed to see something here? Am I supposed to get something out of this? I I don't get it. So that you could have easily cut a pretty good majority of it through that, because that happens quite a bit throughout the movie. And I will be completely 100% honest with you. I do love this franchise, and I have a good time with it, but this movie confused the crap out of me when it came to story, because it asks a lot of its viewer. Like, if you are a diehard Hell House fan who have seen all the movies countless times, you might not have this problem, but for me, even our main character in this movie, I had to stop midway through and be like, who the hell is this? Which character is this? So I had to go back and look up and found out she was the main character from the third movie. So I was like, okay. So, and it's sad because just before this movie came out, I think, was it July of this year? I think July of this year, I rewatched all 4 of the Hell House movies, and still didn't remember who she was. And I was like, okay. And then there's certain events that take place through the majority of these movies that it asks you to remember that. There's other characters from other movies that, they want you to remember who they are and give you no explanation of who they are. While I do appreciate the director's stance on being like, hey, my audience isn't stupid, so I don't have to remind, my audience who these characters are, because they know. Like I said, if you are a diehard fan who's seen the movies multiple times, or you really dug into the lore of it, I think you might not have any problem out of it. But for me, I was confused as crap. Like, I was like, what in the hell? Like, especially trying to connect the house, the Carmichael Manor that you see in the 4th movie, to the hotel, which in that movie made a hell of a lot more sense of what they were going for than this movie did. Like, to me, it felt like there was so much missing from this movie, like missing pieces to the story that you're trying to tell, that I got lost halfway through, because I was like, okay, why is this connected to this, and who connects to this, and why is this character connected to this? And maybe if I watched it with somebody that, was really into the lore of this movie, maybe that would be a little bit different. Or maybe if I rewatched it again, I could pick up on more things. But I honestly have no rush to rewatch this movie anytime soon. And if I'm doing a marathon of them again, I'll probably put it on at the end. Maybe now that it's out, maybe if I went back and started and watched all 5 of them in a row, maybe then I could, put 2 and 2 together, and it'd be a lot easier. But this movie asks a ton for the audience, and there's even a character that's introduced at the end of the movie that I was like, who the hell is that supposed to be? Who the hell is that referencing? That I had to go back and look, and that's a character from the second movie that I was like, how the hell am I supposed to remember that? I know a lot of people were disappointed because they got rid of the whole found footage element of the movie. I can kind of understand why they did that. I mean, I understand that no one's really documenting anything in this movie. There's no point to kind of have it. But when you have a franchise that's built on the other 4 movies being found footage, it's kind of a weird tonal shift to have your last movie be in this regular, style type of movie. And with movies like this, for example, I think the movie is more effective in found footage mode. Like, I think if you were to do the original Hell House in just like a standard shooting way, I don't think it would be as effective as the found footage way. Because our director, he had something really special with how he shot the first one in that found footage style. And between the scares and the creepy factor of not just these kids being in this hotel, trying to bring this hotel into this haunted attraction, I think there was something, that really just embedded in that found footage that worked so well that like I said, having this franchise of 4 movies and then just taking it away in the last one is an interesting choice. I don't think it worked. Like I said, it seemed to really turn a lot of people away, so I don't think it worked for a lot of people. And at first, I was kind of like, I was willing to forgive that, but as the movie went on, and like I said, it stayed on these certain shots and the way that they did certain things, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. This just isn't. It's just not work. It's not hitting the same as that found footage style did. That, and to be completely honest, this is going to be. It's non-spoiler, But this movie has no ending. Like, this is supposed to be the final chapter of the franchise. It's supposed to bring everything together, and everything's supposed to be answered and all that good stuff. I feel like this movie, at the end of it especially, opened even more doors for questions than closing a lot of them. Like, literally, when this movie ended, I went, what the fuck, was that it? Like, there is characters coming to a realization about something and finding another character, and then, like, just boom, ends. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how was that wrapping? I was like, you just opened up a floodgate for more questions. I was like, that does not tie anything at all together. I was like, yeah, sure, it connects other characters to something else, but how is that a conclusion? I was like, where is your conclusion? This movie to me felt more of a stepping stone movie for a movie that he really wanted to make. It's almost like Jeepers Creepers in a way, where it felt like, to me, Jeepers Creepers 3 felt more of a stepping stone movie to get something into place so he could make the movie he wanted to make. That's how I feel about the Hell House movie. I feel like this all needed to be here for all exposition, and then you're like, okay, now in the next movie I will get the movie that I wanted to make. Although this is supposed to be your finale. You even, like, Shudder and everybody else is like, this is the epic conclusion. This is the final chapter, and I'm like, but there's no finality about this movie. Like, it just ends, and you're like, but there's stuff that, what is that? So, not only was I confused with some of the stuff going on, but I was like, what in the hell? What is that? Although I have heard that the director now says he has an idea for another movie, but he's not directing them anymore. So I guess, I don't know if he's going to write the script or if he's going to, like, just be a producer. He'll probably end up being a producer, but I just figured, I guess he's passing the reins to somebody else and letting them direct it. But I guess it's still going to follow our character from this movie, and I guess the story's going to continue. Or I'm assuming that's the route he would go, because I think it would be really weird if he's like, no, I have another idea, and then he just goes a completely different direction with it. But I don't know. I truly don't know. I'm just kind of like, okay, but this movie I was just so disappointed with, because I was looking forward to it so much, and I heard so many mixed things from it, that people that saw it in the theater that were like, yeah, it's not that great, it's pretty rough, it's pretty bad. And me, I take all that stuff with a grain of salt, because I'm like, no, I want to watch the movie myself and then go out and make my own opinion of it, which is something I encourage everybody to do regardless. If any of you love someone and trust them on their word 100%, please go watch the movie and see it for yourself, so that way you have your own opinion of it. But yeah, I gotta agree with everybody. This movie left me so disappointed. And that's the biggest thing too. I didn't feel any, like, suspense or any dread or any of that stuff throughout this movie at all. Like I said, the first one and the fourth one, those two in particular, I really felt genuinely creeped out and on the edge of my seat, and really felt that suspense and stuff that they were trying to go for. This movie doesn't have any of that. It's like it doesn't build to anything. We follow these characters go from A to B to set a plot point up that goes to another plot point that goes to this, but there's no building. The one small moment of suspense that I felt throughout this movie was, there's a scene where there's a guy who's recording on his phone, which it turns into found footage for like 5 seconds, and he records something on his phone, and then he drops his phone down the stairs, and then you see, and the phone is like laying on the ground still recording, and you see like the clown, a little bit of the clown, like, that's in his house. That was legit. That was like the only part of genuine tension that I felt throughout it, and it's so short-lived. That right there proved, that little bit of that teeny bit of found footage that we get in this movie proves right there that these movies are way more effective in the found footage form. And I know that this series isn't really built on blood and gore or anything like that, because it's mainly more built on that suspense type thing. But this movie, not without spoiling anything, the clown is going after particular people throughout this movie and killing them off. And I was like, okay, well, with this being a more of a standard way of shooting things, I said maybe they'll go, while it's lacking in the suspense department or the tension department. I said maybe they'll ratchet that up with some cool kills or some gore or something like that. No, there's really none of that. All the kills are really off screen, or you hear like the aftermath of them, like when the clown is getting one dude, like you just see him go down, and you just see the clown just focuses on the clown. You just hear a lot of crunching, and one guy is like killed, and you never see him at all anymore. You're just kind of like, okay, I don't know what. They just, oh, he's dead, and then you don't see the aftermath of anything. You don't know how he died. You're just kind of like, that character's gone. It is what it is. And you're like, okay. So they didn't even give us that, which again, I know that's not what this franchise is built on, but I thought maybe with it going in this new way of shooting it, going away from the found footage, they might give us a little bit of that, but no. And it's the same with our main character in this movie. I don't know why or what the intention was of bringing this character back, because she's just not interesting. Like, the thing that they're going for, to me, just really wasn't all that interesting. Trying to piece these things together, I was like, okay, but at the end of the day, what is the point of it? Like, I don't know where we're going. I haven't watched like any interviews or anything like that with the director that normally I will, or I kind of dive into stuff like that after I see a movie, because I just kind of want to see where their mindset is for certain things, and I've yet to do that for this movie, mainly because I was just so disappointed. I was kind of like, well, I don't know. I'll give it time. But I don't know. There's a part of me that wanted to do that just to see if, like, how he wanted things to go might change how, my opinion on certain stuff and how, certain stuff was supposed to be. But I don't know. I haven't yet to do that, and I don't know if I will. I probably will eventually, and maybe my opinion will change, but I don't think it's going to change a lot, because to me, just basically how the movie is overall. And yeah, I don't know. I was just, like I said many times throughout the movie, this movie left me very disappointed, because I'm such a big fan of the first one and the fourth one especially. Like, I think 2 and 3 are fun. I think they've got some good scares in them here and there, but they just do not live up to the level of the first one. But I will happily watch the second one and the third one over the fifth one any day. So this movie is on Shudder. If you are a fan of this franchise and you want to see the conclusion of this franchise, if you want to call it that, it is on there if you have Shudder. If not, I wouldn't say you're really missing much. I would maybe if the next movie comes out, if we get another movie that's a continuation to this, that kind of answers stuff from this movie, since, like I said, the director said apparently he's got another idea, maybe then you can check this movie out so it can go into the other movie and, whatnot or whatever. I don't know. Maybe if you do want to check this out and you haven't seen the Hell House movies in a while, I would say definitely rewatch those beforehand, before checking this movie out, because otherwise it's going to be a very confusing ride, even for somebody that, like I said, rewatched them just a couple months before this movie came out. I still was confused. And if you've never seen any of the Hell House movies, definitely you'll be I wouldn't even try, but go check out the first one and especially the fourth one. But that's just my recommendation. Now, if anybody out there genuinely enjoyed this movie, please comment below and let me know. I'm very curious what you enjoyed about it, what you liked about it. Like I said, I had a few likes in the beginning, but they were very short-lived. I know this movie review seemed very on the negative side, and I hate to do that to some extent, because I know how hard it is to get a film made and stuff that people have to go through to get stuff made. But at the end of the day, I have to be honest. I have to be honest in what I'm doing. Otherwise, there's no point in me talking about anything, because I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat everything and be like, oh, yeah, it was great and great and great, when I can't do that. Like, I have to be honest in what I'm talking about. Otherwise, again, what's the point? I don't want to be one of those people. So I love the franchise. I hate that, it ended on this whimper of a conclusion, but sometimes, sadly, that's how it goes. Like I said, if you've seen the movie, please let me know if you liked it. If you liked it, please tell me what you thought about it. If you didn't like it, I understand, but I'm curious to know what you didn't like about it either. I'm also curious what your favorite Hell House movie is. I don't even know if anybody will even check this review out, because this movie was released in August in theaters, and it and it's now November, but maybe it just came on to Shudder on Halloween, so maybe that'll re-spark some interest in it. So if you do check out this review, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. But if this is the review you're finding me on, please come on over and check out the channel. I have a ton of other reviews throughout the year so far. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe and all that fun stuff so that way I can see you in the next one. So until then, thank you guys.